YouTube, vinyl community, Beach Boys fans, random people on the internet, my name is Giggens, and we are here today to talk about the Beach Boys 2013 box set of sorts, 5 classic albums, The Beach Boys. This is a box set that came out in 2013. I got it at Walmart at the time. I think it's also available through, or was available through Amazon and other websites, but it basically just takes a handful of their early albums up to Pet Sounds, throws them in a box, and that's it. It's got Surfin' USA, Little Deuce Coupe, All Summer Long, Summer Days and Summer Nights, and Pet Sounds. So, very cool. Sound-wise, these things really do sound great. You know, they're all primarily stereo. I think a couple of mono tracks snuck in for good measure, but for the most part, they're all stereo. The presentation on these is definitely lacking, whereas they all come in these cool little mini album replica sleeves. That's fun. The back covers are, there's nothing exciting about it. It's just like a picture of the guys, and then the track listing, and then it's done. There's no credits, there's no liner notes, there's no information about the releases, the release date, nothing. There's no other book that comes inside this thing. A very boring package presentation-wise. But sound-wise, they sound bloody great. I think, you know, for being mostly stereo, these things have an absolutely really well done mix. I'm not sure who was in charge of that or when these mixes are from. You know, the CDs themselves actually list 2012, 2013 as the release, you know, the copyrights on these things. But who knows if that was a current mix or what the deal was. But really just kind of an interesting little set. I mean, you know, the labels are cool. You get the old school Capital Rainbow label on the disc, which is great with the HD CD logo. And it's true, I mean, they really do sound great. The drums are nice and punchy. The vocal blends are just fantastic. You know, really, really fun to listen to. I mean, being that it's stereo, there's a couple of things that are kind of a drag, like, you know, Here Today doesn't have all the talking in the background. But God Only Knows has a really nice horn, French horn bit at the end that I never really noticed before, so that was fun to hear. I've heard this box set a million times. I can't believe I have missed that. The Cough version of Wendy is on here, which is my favorite version of that song. And, you know, seeing that this came out in November of 2013, it was available for a couple of years, it looks like, according to some reviews online. And it's since gone out of print from what I can tell. And because of that, prices for this thing have skyrocketed. I don't know why. I'm not sure if this is like a desirable mix for people to listen to or what the deal is, but you know, prices on this thing range anywhere from, like, when I got this, it was 20 bucks. And so they range online now from 20 bucks to like $50 or $60. And Barnes & Noble's website actually has a copy for $245.81. So if you've got almost 250 bucks to blow on music you already own, go for it. I mean, yeah, presentation-wise, definitely lackluster. Some of the colors are a little bit, like, the contrast is a little weird. They're kind of dark. They're kind of blurred in some spots. They're kind of grainy. They're not as clear as they could be. And, like, I mean, they could have done so much more. Like, with the Beatles box set, when they redid the American albums, they put, like, you know, the original, exactly how the album cover looked. So it would have said, like, you know, file under Beatles, mono, stereo, whatever it was. You know, the white trim around the border and everything else, they would have put the original back on the thing, you know, with the original liner notes, the original pictures. They did a great job with those. I'm not sure why this thing is so lacking. I mean, it's not saying that it's bad, but I mean, for 20 bucks, you definitely get your money's worth. There's over 60 songs here, basically, so that's cool, but overall, like, it's definitely lacking. The box itself is pretty boring. Like, you know, this whole series of the original album series has been hugely popular in the last few years, I would say, in terms of, like, the CD market, what's left of it. But the packaging on those are so much different. There's, like, it has, like, official logo for the band with an actual picture of the band or artist behind this little strip of album covers. Not just a boring blue box that says the Beach Boys on it, and then the back cover just, here's the name of the album and the songs. Like, that's it. And the side, you know, so a whole bunch of nothing going on, but nonetheless, it's still a very fun release, and hearing all the albums in order is also really cool because you start off with their early stuff, you know, the surf rock, car songs, and work your way up to Pet Sounds. So, you know, before I made this video, I wanted to play them all in order again because it's been a while since I've played these physical CDs. And just hearing the growth is just unbelievable on these things. You know, the maturity, the depth, the dynamics, the presentation, the production, the subject matter, the maturity. There's so much of the guys that changed over those very tiny years. I mean, in between, this is what, 62 or 3 up to 66. That's only like 3 or 4 years. I mean, some bands don't put out one album in between those amount of years. I mean, these guys were cranking these things out, and this is only like half of the releases they put out in that time. So, absolutely fantastic. It's no wonder that Brian was exhausted at the end. I mean, because like just so much work went into this stuff. It's very cool hearing that growth happen. It's very fun. So, sound-wise, yeah, these things I think sound bloody great. I think that, like I said, the drums are punchy. I think the vocal harmony blends are really, really smooth. Some people have complained that these things sound too compressed. For my ears, I thought they were pretty open. I thought they sounded great. So, I mean, I can't complain there. But it would have been cool to see like at least one small booklet stashed inside this box with liner notes, information about the guys, what they were doing at the time, you know, like, you know, when this thing was released, how they charted on the charts. Just something else besides just one simple little picture and the track listing, and then that's it. Just a tiny little sleeve in a box, 20 bucks, out the door. Like, a little more work could have gone a long way with something like this, because these songs are so fun, and I mean, these albums are so great. So, like, you know, a little bit of presentation, I think a little more effort would have made for a much more successful box set. But what do I know? So here's the backs of the album covers we can do. This is the back of the Summer Girls, Summer Days and Summer Nights album. The back of Pet Sounds, hanging out with a giraffe, Surfing USA. I love that shot. That's a great picture of the guys. That's a little Deuce Coupe, and then all summer long, they're hanging out with some motorcycles. Just bikes. Hanging out with some bushes and bikes. I mean, it's just fun to hold these things and look at them. I think it's cool to see all the album covers in these little tiny forms. But a little more detail, I think, would have made them look a little more authentic, and you know, would have been a little bit more fun. But that's kind of it. I mean, not a whole lot to say about this thing. It didn't chart, obviously, and I'm not sure how many units it sold, but seems to be out of print at this point. So, you know, you could probably pick one up on Barnes & Noble's website for 245 bucks. Hey, what the heck? Yeah, why not? I'm giving this thing a 9 out of 10. Sound-wise, I think they sound absolutely fantastic. HCD is the HD CD format. So they all sound really, really clean and crisp and fun to listen to. And, you know, a lot of this stuff is in stereo. I think 99% of it is. Like I said, maybe a couple of tracks are mono here and there. And I think it sounds great. I know some of the Beach Boys purists would be like, oh, stereo? Dear me. No, never stereo. Only mono. Because for some reason they're all elderly British people. But, I don't know. These sound great. Stereo, mono, I don't care. It's the Beach Boys. They all sound great. So, that's it. My name is Giggens. This has been Album Reviews with the Beach Boys box set, 5 classic albums. No longer available, apparently, unless you have 200 bucks to blow. So, that's it. 9 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.